Hello, just setting up my new space. Can't have my lights in there. All right, perfect. How are you? Joan, nice to have you. I think that you came last time, right? I think last time was your first time. If I'm right, would you please let me know? And then who else is here? Stevie, good morning. Gail. First time. Wow, great. Toronto. Lots of Canadians. Ever since 2020, a lot of Canadians seem to be practicing yoga with me, which is fantastic. She's way, good morning. Stevie, I said hello. Okay, can you see the picture now, Gail? So I think that hopefully you're able to see me and hear me. Oh, okay, it wasn't on. Trying to figure out my space. See, I've got my plant there. New space, trying to figure it out to be the best lighting possible. All right, perfect. Wonderful. Okay, so today's focus for the class is going to be on posture, which we all need. And is there anything else anybody else would like to ask for or request? So hopefully, Joan, your phone doesn't time out. Hopefully you're able to stay with us the entire class today. All right, well, let me get started. If there's anything you want to request or ask, go ahead and do that now, or we can talk about it at the end of class. So I'm going to go back there. These classes are recorded to watch at a later date, which is always nice. And I'd say most people don't show up live. They show up in the recorded sense, or they do both, live and recorded. And that's what's really great about having these classes, is that you can do either or. So for today, the focus is on posture, because posture is a contributing factor behind fractures in the spine. It's one of the main areas, actually, is the way we stand, sit, and move all day long will have an effect on spinal wedge fractures. And that can have a cascade effect, a negative cascade effect on other factors as well. So focusing on posture when it comes to bone health is critical. So we are going to pay attention to that today in the class. For the class, you will need certain props. I brought some extra ones today. So if balance is an issue for you, I recommend you have a chair or you practice near a wall so you have something to rest on or lean on. That can be a very important aspect for you, especially if balance is an issue. The basic props you're going to need are a blanket, a block, and a strap. And if you don't have these, then get something that's like these. Towels, blankets work really great, pillows from the house. The reason why we use props is to fill in the gaps, to fill in the spaces, to bring the floor to you if you need the floor, or to fill in areas that you may need that. So we will need a block and a strap and a blanket at a minimum. And then today I'm going to begin the practice with an extra block for some spinal extension, or you could use a ball if you have a ball at home. We're going to work on getting a nice strong back bend in our body with support. So choose whatever is the right thing for you. So I know that I saw some chatting. I just want to see if, hi, Carolyn. Okay, perfect. All right, so I just couldn't chat from back there, but I wanted to make sure that my volume was up and you could hear me. So you decide what you would like to use. I brought this out to show you. I'm not going to use this, but if you did want to use a ball, you would put a ball in your back right here at the least flexible part of the spine. This is right behind the heart where thoracic 5, 6, and 7 is. I'm going to use a block in that area of my back, putting a block right at the bra line. It could be horizontal or vertical. And then if you do have any shoulder issues, rotator cuff tears, I would be really careful with doing too much support behind your spine. It's going to initiate a really strong stretch in the shoulders. So maybe using something a little softer, like a rolled up towel or a pillow or something behind your heart to make that more of a gentle opening. So let's prepare. Let's prepare by getting ourselves ready. So I don't need the blanket or the strap right now. I do need the blocks. I'm going to use 2 blocks and use one across the bra line there and the other one at the back of the head. So when we do yoga, yoga is a practice of all of you. It's your mind, your body, your soul. All of you shows up here, right? Because the reason why we're doing this is to maintain strength, flexibility, and to be able to stay strong as we age in our body, our bones, our balance, for fall prevention, for injury prevention, to stand up nice and tall, for spinal wedge fracture prevention. So that's why we're doing all of this. It's not just, I'm going to specifically just focus on muscles or bones. It's all of us. It's all parts of us. It's the me that wants to age well, the me that wants to still live a very active life forever. So that me comes to the practice as well. Not just my body, not just my bones, my muscles, but all of me comes here. And that's why we come here. That's why we show up. It is a practice. It's a practice of keeping and maintaining whatever you can, doing the best that you can do. And that is the most important thing, is that you do the best that you could do, and it is enough. Whatever you do today is going to be enough and appropriate for you today. So let's close our eyes with that intention, with that understanding. Whether you're new to the practice, whether you're recovering from an injury, whether you have come to a point in your life where you may have not maintained your strength or your balance or your posture as much as you should have, and now you're showing up, wherever you begin your journey, it is a practice every day of being the strongest, healthiest version of yourself as you age. And you are here and you are doing that. So the eyes are closed. Let your hands rest on your thighs, palms are down. Begin to breathe in and out through your nose. Noticing your heart beating, noticing the quality of the energy of your mind. Is it really active? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you calm? With the eyes closed, knowing where you are, the space that you're in, what exists around you, even with eyes closed. And the fact that you're here for you, taking the time out to do this for yourself. Take care of yourself, strengthen your body, your muscles, your bones, your balance, your posture, manage stress, deepen your breaths, increase your energy, support your immune system. All of that takes place when we practice yoga. What will the journey be like for you today in the class? It'll be whatever it should be. Nothing more, nothing less. And then allow your eyes to blink open. That's really important that we understand that. I teach live classes, I have conversations with people all the time, and I do a lot of private yoga therapy work with ladies with osteoporosis. You're not supposed to be doing anything. There's no expectations of what should happen today in the practice. Whatever is supposed to happen will happen. What needs lengthened will lengthen. What needs contracted will stay contracted. What needs expanded will expand. And it's all good because you are paying attention to so many facets of you when you show up to your mat. So let's begin with the first part of the practice, to allow the props to help to stretch the spine, stretch the muscles of posture and of trunk support that lead to balance and many other aspects that are important for us for healthy aging, healthy bones. So the block is going to go across this way. If you have a rolled up towel instead or a pillow, put it there. It's going to go behind your heart. So I'm not with you to come around and look, but I want you to make sure that the part of your spine you put this in is right behind your heart and not higher and not lower. We don't want this to be on the lumbar spine or up in the cervical. We really want to affect the spine where the ribs are attached. When you lower down, it's with awareness that you have length in the front of your spine, bringing yourself onto the prop. I like to begin right at the bra line, and then pick your tushy up, lengthen your pelvis away from your ribs. Then you place your body down. You're gonna start to get feedback on what's appropriate. Keep your knees bent so that your feet will be on the ground, your knees are bent, and you protect your low back. If there's a lot of tension and pulling in the low back, walk your feet back. And then arrange yourself so that your shoulder blades slide towards each other, especially if scoliosis. If you have scoliosis and you have a winging of the scapula, the shoulder bones, press your arms into the floor, lift yourself up, slide the shoulder blades closer together, and then lay the flat part of your shoulder blades down on the prop. Keeping the knees bent will help with this. Keeping the block high if you need it high, or put it down low if you're able to go a little lower. And it all is determined by your body. Push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up again, take the tension out of the low back, create space between your ribs and your pelvis as you place your pelvis back down. Feel that sacrum make connection with the ground. And then starting to bring the stretch and the openness into the shoulders. Take your arms out to the sides and let's do a little bit of up and down movement with the hands. Lift your head, lengthen the back of your neck, letting your arms hover, elbows are bent, palms are facing up towards the sky. If you could close your eyes and feel this posture in your body so that you feel the appropriate place for you. Try that. Try to feel your way in. You inhale when your hands go up. You exhale when your arms come down. Your eyes are closed. You're noticing, where does the stretch intensify? Where does it minimize? And where do you feel this? So there may be a lot of stretching in front of the shoulders and in the chest. And when you lift your arms overhead, you may start to notice more of a stretch coming into the belly area, the lower ribs. Keep the mouth closed, breathing in and out through the nose. And then take your arms wide, elbows are slightly bent, and bring your arms into a position where you feel a pretty intense stretch across the chest, across the shoulders, and intense and appropriate. So with the eyes closed, checking into your body. Now bring your awareness to the low back. So we're manipulating the middle spine, which is attached to the low back. What's happening to your low back? And if your low back is not happy, gently activate your core, push your belly towards your spine. Try to push the low back towards the ground. And feel how that helps to protect and minimize the pulling in the low back. We're trying to isolate the stretch in the postural muscles in the chest. Notice if you feel a stretch on your arms, where your arms attach to your body. Do you feel it farther down the arms? Being a witness or an observer to where the stretch is for you. If you feel that you could go a little deeper, your low back is not bothered at all, you could try extending your legs. And if you do that and it doesn't feel appropriate for you, then go ahead and bend your knees again. Making the posture work for your body wherever you are in your body. Close your mouth, breathing in and out through your nose. Begin to breathe in the nostrils to the chest. And observe what happens when the breath comes to your chest. And what happens when you deepen the breath? Do you feel more stretch with your breath? Activating your core, pressing gently back towards your low back, protecting the low back, bringing the breath deeper to the lower ribs. Let your awareness be inward. Follow your breath into the lower ribs, side of the lower ribs, and the lower ribs at the back of your body. And then breathe to the low belly, all the way down to the pubic bone, to where your legs attach to your body. Follow the breath in, so let your mind come into the body with the breath, and then start feeling where it goes in your body, what happens, what stretches, what expands. Bring your awareness to your arms, and with each exhale, push your arms closer to the ground. Your inhale, you could soften, and on your exhale, gently pressing your arms towards the ground. Finishing the breath you're on, take 3 more breaths. And when you finish the last breath, give the breath back to your body to breathe itself. Bringing your awareness to your fingers, your toes, your hands, and your feet. Start to gently bring movement in. If you're able to take your arms overhead, stretch long with your arms. You can stretch long with your feet or keep your knees bent. Closing your eyes, really feeling what does your body need today. If you're able to clasp your hands, turn your palms up towards the wall behind you and reach long in your body. Feel that stretch coming into the middle of your body, the lower ribs.
The low back is unhappy, activate the core, push the belly back towards the spine to protect the lower back. Hug the lumbar spine with the muscles of the lower body. Take one more breath. And then we're going to come off. This is a pretty big opener. So walk your feet closer to your body and then roll all the way off of your props onto the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. Let your back settle. Let your muscles settle. Then take your hand on the ground. Pushing away from the ground, bring yourself up to a seated position. And then check in, close your eyes. That's a pretty deep opener. Can be, depending on what props you use. So close your eyes. Let your awareness come into your body to notice what you notice. It's how we keep ourselves safe and practice strongly. You want to do the deepest opening, the most stretch you can, the most strength you can, and you want it to be safe. So listening to your body along the way to make sure that you find the Goldilocks position, the perfect position for you. And then open your eyes. So let's warm up the upper body. Take your block and strap off to the side. Bring your blanket onto the mat. So the blanket is to support your knees. If you have knee issues, you may even need a bigger blanket. So get whatever you need for yourself. Knees underneath the hips, a little wide if balance is an issue, or a little closer together if you want to challenge yourself. Take your hands down alongside your body. Let's inhale to open and exhale to hug yourself. Inhale to open, and then exhale, cross the other arm on top to hug. Inhale and cross. You could imagine that you're floating in water, so there's a little resistance in your arms. If it feels okay for you, you could begin to go a little bigger and out to the sides, and then come back and hug yourself. Bring yourself back to center. Take your hands like you have a sheet of glass in front of you, and you're doing circular patterns on the glass in front of you. Bring your hands up, out to the side, out and around. And try to keep your hands right in front of you. Take your hands on your shoulders. Bring your elbows up and down. Push your arms back. Shoulder blades are gliding up and down the back of the body, trying to loosen up tension in the upper back. Bring your arms up and then bring the chin down, the elbows down. Bring the arms forward, the chin forward, chin up, elbows out to the side and down. Chin down to the chest, elbows up. Chin down, elbows up. Chin down and up. One more. Bring yourself back into a neutral. Take your hands down alongside your body. Palms are out. Stretch your fingers. Inhale up. Chin goes up. And then turn your palms down. Lengthen the back neck. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale. Tuck your chin down as you lengthen the back of the neck. So feel this in the upper body. Warming up your upper body, your postural muscles. Bring yourself back to the neutral. Let's do side bending. So I think the wider stance here is a little bit more stabilizing for the low body. Take one hand down, one hand up. If taking your hand up is uncomfortable, put your hand on your shoulders. And then the other side. It's more about reaching up and slightly bending than it is about trying to bend too much. Unless, of course, that's what your body needs. So find what's appropriate for your body. One hand is down, one hand is up. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's do some rotation for the spine. Let your head look up and back and come back to center. Inhale, up and back to center. Inhale, back to center. One more. Now let your elbow go. Elbow goes high. You can look a little farther now. You've got the shoulder blade protecting your trunk as you rotate. One more. And then again, bringing yourself down. So if you can kneel and sit on your heels, do that. If you need to go to crisscross legs, do that. If you need to sit in a different way, do that. Put one palm inside of the other, touch your thumbs. Let your hands rest on your body, close to your body. Close your eyes. Let your awareness go in your body to notice what's happened so far. Where are you? Always checking in. This is how we stay safe as we practice. This is how we develop internal body awareness to keep ourselves safe in the yoga practice and when we're off the mat in our lives. Noticing breakdown, noticing building up of the body so that we can always be ahead of the game, on top of things. And then open your eyes. Let's move on to spinal warm-up. So take your hands forward and pointer fingers are forward, pushing your body weight side to side. We're going to get into the hips, the side of the hip joint here. Let the toenails touch the ground. Get some lubrication to come into your hips. Bring yourself back to center. Push your body weight forward. Push your body weight to the right. Push your body weight back. Push your body weight to the left. Push the body weight forward, to the right, back, and to the left. Forward, right, back, and left. So you're making a square pattern with your weight, pushing your weight around the joints. Can you round it out and turn it into a circle? Round out the corners. Let the hip joint freely flow. Let the shoulder joint freely flow. Keep your arms straight. Keep your head lifted and looking forward. And then bring yourself back to a neutral position. Bring your body weight forward, bring your body weight to the left, back, right, forward, left, back, right, forward. And continue rounding out the corners, rolling around in your shoulders and in your hips. So as arthritis develops, or as protection in the body, minerals are released from the bones, or the body finds minerals in the system to create deposits. Either those are arthritic deposits, bone spurs. Most of it's for protection because you're off alignment or because you have an issue or an injury and it needs to repair. So when we move our body, when we move our joints, we help to move those sticky parts of us so they don't eventually get stuck. Bring yourself all the way back to neutral. Come all the way up and out. Take your wrists. Move the hands open and closed. Bend the fingers. Roll the wrists. Take that tension out of the wrists. And then bring yourself back down. Take your palms forward. Take them pretty far forward and take your knees wide. Toenails are touching the ground. Imagine you have a paintbrush coming off of your tushy. So you have a paintbrush duct taped to the center of your buttocks and it's long and it touches the wall behind you. Paint a strip of paint down the back wall and up the back wall. Keep your head looking forward. So you're moving your pelvis, you're tucking or tilting your pelvis. It's the tucking action. It's a posterior tilt, anterior tilt. Legs are wide, head is forward. Try to move the pelvis as much as you can. You'll feel a stretch in the low back and a stretch in the belly. And then bring yourself back to center, bring yourself all the way up, take your wrists, take that tension out, roll your wrists, or keep your hands open, whatever feels better for you. And then bring your hands down. Let's do a little movement here to warm up the spine and extension and warm up the low back. Pointer fingers are forward, your hands are as wide as your mat. You're going to inhale, push your rib cage down to the floor with straight arms, tailbone back, up the wall, and head forward. This is a sway back horse position. This is called extension. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, you come to a neutral spine. You start to bend your hip joint, bringing your body back. Don't round the upper spine, moving back into your hips, and then you inhale forward into your extension. Exhale back into neutral and into your hips. Keep your head lifted. You might feel a little heat developing in between your shoulder blades and your upper back. We're starting to strengthen the postural muscles in the upper back and neck. And at the same time, stretching the spine, lubricating the hips, preparing the body for the practice. Bringing the fluids into the joints, into the muscles. One more. And then bring yourself all the way up. Take a break. Close your eyes, sit nice and tall, noticing what you notice already. And then go ahead and open your eyes. So let's do plank posture. Plank posture fortifies the front of your body. The front of the body typically gets tight and works all day long to maintain our posture. So I'd like to give you an analogy in today's practice, focusing on posture. I'd like to give you an analogy to work today throughout the practice. So imagine that your pelvis and below is a sugar cone. So a lot of the women I work with like ice cream, eat ice cream, until of course I get them off of sugar and dairy because they're inflammatory, and inflammation is a root cause of bone loss. And don't worry, there's plenty of other yummy alternatives for those. And when you heal your gut, you don't crave it as much. So bottom of your body is a sugar cone, a triangular sugar cone. Then you have 3 scoops of ice cream. You have the pelvis is 1 scoop, your rib cage is another scoop, and your head is the 3rd scoop. So pelvis, rib cage, head. Your sugar cone, your lower body is always trying to maintain those 3 scoops and where they are in space. So we're going to strengthen the muscles that help to hold your scoops in alignment, because especially the top scoop, the head, the top scoop, when your head is forward, which it is all day long, it puts tremendous pressure on the rest of your body. Your lower body has to work really hard, which is why there's so many knee issues, so many hip issues, collapsed joints. And so we want to maintain this alignment in our body. So let's strengthen the parts of us that will do that. We're going to do, the first 2 postures will be the plank postures. And these are multi-muscles. We're using a lot of muscles at once. We use the front of the body and then we use the back. Do your best. If you need to take a break, take a break. If you need to modify, so I'm going to do the full extension of my arm here, but if you have wrist issues and you want to come down and do the dolphin or the forearm version, you could choose to come onto your forearms. Or you could do fists for wrists, or you don't even bend your wrist at all. So choose what's appropriate for you. If you're doing full version, pointer fingers are forward. Take 1 foot back, and then the other, coming into the full version. If this is too intense for you, just let your knees come down, flatten your toenails, and push away from the ground, staying active in the variation. So choosing what's appropriate for you. Bring your awareness to your left foot and push through that left heel strongly so you feel the left calf activate. Then press through the right toes, the right heel, and activate that right calf, pushing back, feeling the stretch. Then push both kneecaps up towards the sky, pushing your feet away from you, feel the heels. Now push your toes into the floor and try to drag your toes up towards your pelvis. You'll feel an activation of the core even deeper. Bring your awareness to the left hand, press all the fingertips and the fingers into the floor. Right hand, fingertips and fingers into the floor. Push both hands into the floor, push away, arms are straight, and then try to slide your hands back towards your feet and your feet towards your hands. Feel that deep activation. Head is active. Don't let it just hang there. Take one more breath, and then go ahead and bring yourself down. Taking a break in between each posture to catch your breath, especially when you use multiple muscles like that. One palm inside of the other, the thumbs touch. Mouth is closed, breathe in and out through your nose. Find alignment in your body as you take your rest. 3 scoops of ice cream, arrange them. Pelvis is underneath the rib cage, pushing the head back so the head is on top of the rib cage. Breathing down to your pelvis to slow down your heart rate. Take one more breath. So we're going to move on to the reverse plank. So for this, you come onto your buttocks. You turn your palms towards your tushy so that you could slide the shoulder blades towards each other. We want to make sure that we do not collapse in our ribs. We do not let the front of the spine push into itself. You want to be active and lifted in your ribs here. So the shoulder blades are sliding back to help support the spine. Toes are pointing forward, so getting nice alignment before we come up. We're going to lift the pelvis off the ground, come into a reverse plank. So take an exhale here, and then as you inhale, push away from the ground, lengthen your knees out, lift your pelvis, press your fingers into the floor, press the heels of the hands into the floor, lifting your heart, lifting your pelvis. You could have your nose pointing straight up towards the sky, which is going to put extra work for you in the upper back and neck area. And if that's too intense, lengthen the back of the neck, tuck the chin towards the chest. So choosing the right variation for your body today. Deep breaths through the nose. Push away from the ground with the hands. Push away from the ground with the feet. Take one more breath. When you come down slowly. Coming to a position to catch your breath, whether that's kneeling or sitting crisscross. Close your eyes, catch your breath. Breathe down to your pelvis. Find the alignment of the 3 scoops, the pelvis, the rib cage, and the head with the eyes closed. So training your body to find this pattern. And then open your eyes. So when we practice yoga, we become very conscious. We move away from the subconscious brain. So everything we're thinking, we're trying to repattern. So repattern the feeling of alignment in your body and your spine for better posture. So let's go onto the belly and do a little bit to strengthen the back muscles from the ground. So coming onto your blanket, walk your knees back. When we come down, we want the blanket to protect our hip bones. So walk your knees back, and if your blanket is too far forward on your mat, you may want to move it back to the back half of the mat. And then walking our arms forward, we're going to come down, strengthening our upper body muscles. So take your hands wide so that the pointer finger and the thumb are on the mat. And then start to let your pelvis come forward. So we go from having the pelvis up and back, we bring the pelvis forward,
And then you start to lower your arms. Pelvis has to be forward here. You cannot have the tushy in the air and do this. You go really slow, pushing away from the ground with your hands to resist to come down. And when you get down, walk your body back so that your pelvis is on your blanket. Come here into a Sphinx posture. Sphinx posture, the elbows are underneath your shoulders. Spread your hands here. Press your feet into the floor actively. Pressing the feet in will activate the knees and lift the knees away from the ground. Inhale to look up and over one shoulder towards the back, towards the heels. Look up on the inhale to the other side. Inhale up and back. And bringing yourself forward, push your hands into the floor. Lengthen your body as you lower down. So bring length into your spine when you do this. Walk your feet together. Bring your arms out to the sides so the elbows are directly off the shoulders. The palms are off the mat. Spread your fingers. Forearms are pressing into the ground. Let your forehead touch the floor. Big toes touch each other. Press your arms actively into the ground. Exhale. As you inhale, push your nose away. Let your neck bend. The spine and the neck bends. Then start to bring that bend into the upper back. That's your inhale, and then you lower down on your exhale. Push your feet in, push your pubic bone down towards the mat. Inhale to lift. Let your back muscles do the work here. Let your spine bend and lift your head up and away from the ground. One more. And then bring yourself down, let your forehead touch. We're going to come into the locust posture, bending the spine completely. Toes touch, toes press into the ground, knee moves away from the floor. Bring your arms alongside your body. With length, you're going to reach through your toes, reach through your fingers, push your pubic bone towards the ground, and then exhale. As you inhale, imagine you're pushing a marble away with your nose. Your head lifts away from the ground. You start to peel off the floor, the chest, all the way down to the heart. Lift the arms up and then lift the legs up. Reach long with your fingers, long with your toes. Pushing your heart forward, bending your upper spine, slide the shoulder blades towards each other, and then press the shoulder blades forward to help stretch the front of your spine, to bend your upper spine. You could separate your legs here if you'd like. Roll the legs in the sockets so that the soles of the feet roll up towards the sky. Reach long with your fingers, long with your arms, long with your legs. Reaching out the crown of the head, out the fingers, out the feet. Pubic bone pushes into the floor. Reaching long with your feet, long with your arms. Reach up a little higher. Bending your spine, bending your upper spine a lot. Take one more breath. When you lower yourself down, take the arms, elbows are out to the side, hands are as far away from you as you can get them. Put one palm on top of the other, lengthen the torso, lengthen the neck, and let your forehead rest on the back of your hands. Bend your knees a little wider than hip distance and allow the knees to flop or the feet to flop side to side, relaxing the low back. Breathe to your belly. This will help to release some of that tension in the low back.
And then go ahead, lengthen your legs away from you. Let your legs go down, breathing in through the nose to the belly. And then lengthen one arm away from you, roll onto your side, cradle your head in your arm, take your hand, and you're gonna push yourself up from the ground, coming all the way up. So moving on to a twist, rotation. So moving into rotation, take your blanket, fold your blanket either in two if you are pretty flexible, and then you may need to roll it again if you have a lot of tightness in your body. So the more elevated you are, the more freedom you'll get in your spine here. We're gonna do rotation because it helps to counterbalance the back bend, and it strengthens the muscles of posture and alignment in the spine. The important thing when we're rotating is that we do not press down in the front of our spine and then rotate over it. So making sure we develop that length. We have the scoops aligned, the pelvis, the rib cage, and the head, and then we add rotational force. So come to the front edge of your blanket, reach back and grab the flesh on either side, exposing the sits bones, feeling that in your body. Take the block to the left side. So take the block behind you. And straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, and hold onto left knee to get more length in your body and to be coming right out of your pelvis. 3 scoops are aligned. You're not tipping backwards. You're right coming out of your pelvis. Hold on to the left leg with the right arm. Keep that right arm active. Don't let the elbow come down. Lift it so you're really active. And then your left hand either goes onto the ground or the block on the fingertips, only to push away, not to lean down on. Right leg is very active, left leg is active to protect the low back. Exhale. As you inhale, start to draw the lower ribs to the left, the middle ribs to the left, and the upper. Once you're here, refining this by lowering the shoulders away from the ears, sliding the shoulder blades towards each other, pressing the shoulder blades forward to get a little taller to support a back bend in your upper spine. And then make sure you're arranging your scoops, pelvis, rib cage, head. No chin tilting up towards the sky. Chin is parallel towards the ground. Nice long spine. Lower the shoulders, slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Push the shoulder blades forward. Push down into the ground to get tall. Lift that right elbow. Constantly working in the posture. Take one more breath. When you come down, it's with length that you come in, up, and de-rotate. Push the block over to the other side. Stay tall in your spine as you switch. Straightening the left leg, bending the right leg, holding on to get tall, pushing your legs down. Put the right hand on the floor or the block behind you. Depends on the length of your arms. One will feel better. Push your feet into the floor to get tall. Keep that left arm active. Arrange your scoops, the pelvis, the rib cage, and the head. Pushing down into the ground, exhale, and then inhale the lower ribs, the middle ribs, and the upper ribs. From here, lowering the shoulders, sliding the shoulder blades towards each other. Press your shoulder blades forward to elevate, to lift, to lengthen. Deep rest down to your pelvis. Constantly working in this. Push your feet down into the ground, get tall. Lower the shoulders. Slide shoulder blades towards each other. Left elbow lifted. Push shoulder blades forward. Stack your 3 scoops. Chin parallel towards the ground. Push down, get tall. Take one more breath. Lift to unwind. Bring yourself back to center. Come into Baddha Konasana to rest. If this is comfortable, if not, you can come into a crisscross, holding onto your ankles, tall in your spine, knees are out to the side. Close your eyes, catch your breath. Take one more breath. Bring the blanket back onto the center of your mat. Grab your strap. Come to kneel if kneeling is comfortable. Sit crisscross if that's more comfortable for you. And then take your strap. We're going to stretch our muscles. We're going to do some standing posture work. Let's make sure that we're nice and stretched. Take a hold of the strap so your arms can be unbent and wide. And then bring your arms up and back, stretching the chest, the shoulders. Make sure this feels appropriate for you. If you need to modify with shoulder issues, please do so. And then come back and hold. Look forward and up. Push your pelvis into your seat. Reach long and tall with your arms. Feel the stretch reaching back behind you. Take one more breath. And then come down. We're going to do one thing with the strap to strengthen the postural muscles of the upper back, the rhomboids that are in between the shoulder blades that draw the shoulder blades back. Really critical for maintaining that proper alignment, which is very critical when it comes to fall prevention and spinal fracture prevention. So you take the strap only about 8 inches apart, so not very far, not very wide, and you want to pull so you feel the tension. Bring your arm above your head. You're going to inhale. As you pull on the strap a lot, you're going to exhale. Slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. Let that be what brings the strap down a little lower. And then the strap goes up just to about the top of your head. It's not touching your head. It's behind your head. Slide the shoulder blades together and pull your shoulder blades down to your pelvis. Let that be what draws the strap down. And then a very small movement, activating those upper back muscles. Shoulder blades are sliding towards each other. Chin is parallel. One more, come down and hold, stay there. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Draw the shoulder blades down the back of the body. And then go ahead and release. Take your strap, move it off to the side. We're going to come to standing. You want to make sure your space is clear so you don't have any props that get in your way. So we're going to come to standing. Coming on to one leg is forward, one leg is back. Take the front leg, walk it forward even more, and maybe to the side. Flip the back toes under, push yourself forward, push yourself up, and come up to standing. Let me arrange my computer and lights. So let's clear the space, bending your hips, move your blanket off to the side. Finding the mountain posture. So if you need a chair, get a chair. If you need a wall, get a wall. Coming into mountain, this is the posture of alignment that will then support posture. Toes are together, Feet are pressing into the floor. It's an active posture, not passive. Push the tops of the feet, the toe pads into the floor. Push the heels into the floor. Push your top thighs back, tailbone down. Reach long with your hands. Reach back with your hands. Long with your spine. All three scoops are lined up. Pelvis, rib cage, and head. Pushing down with your feet, down with your hands, and up with length in your torso. Chin is parallel towards the ground. Find that in your feet again. The balls of the feet, the heels, the pinky toe edge, the inner edge of the heel and the big toe. Press your knees back, press your top thighs back. Tailbone down in between your heels. Down with your hands, back with your hands. Arrange your three scoops, pelvis, rib cage, head. Reach down and up. Find that length, feel the work, pushing your hands back. Try to feel like your center of your head, shoulder blades, sacrum, and backs of the hands are pressing into a wall behind you. Take one more breath. From here, moving into balance is a really easy thing to do, or not easy, but consciously making this easier for your body to feel it, to find it. Toes are together or close together. Push your body weight to your left foot. Bend your right toes. Right knee out to the side. Bring your foot up in between your ankle and your knee. If you need a wall or you need a chair, find that. And then find one single focal point. Look straight in front of you at something. Very focused, like the pin, like a pinhead. Try to find one focal point that you stare at. Push your standing foot into the ground. Leg, push into your leg with your opposite foot. Knee out to the side. Tailbone down. Hands are back, reaching down. Tall torso, stacked body. Take one more breath. Bringing your knee forward, foot down, find the alignment again, balls of the feet, heels, pinky toe edge, inner edge of the heel, big toe. Push your knees back, push your thighs back, tailbone down, reach down with your hands, back with your hands. Stacking all three scoops, lengthen your spine. Weight over to the right, bending the left toes, left knee out to the side, left foot in between ankle and knee. Finding your focal point. That's important. Having your eyes focused on one thing, even if there's stuff around it that's moving. Find that one focal point. Train your brain to be able to focus on one particular area. The eyes play a critical role when it comes to balance. So train them. Let them be a part of this posture. Get away from worrying about the wavering or the movement. There should be, that's your body communicating. Find your focal point. Stare at it. Push away from the ground, lengthen your body. Take one more breath. Bringing your knee forward. Still stay focused until you come out. Finding mountain, and then relax. Shake your limbs. We'll go into triangle where we stretch the lower body. So this is the sugar cone, is the lower body. 1 scoop, 2 scoops, 3 scoops. So we're going to take our lower body, stretch our lower body, and then use the upper body to find that alignment off to the side and to rotate the spine up towards the sky. So having a chair or a block or a wall will be important for this. And if you don't have any of those, I'll also guide from there. So we always come from mountain. We always come from perfect alignment into a wide-legged stance. Near the wall if you need it. Wider the stance, you're going to put a little bit more pressure in your spine and your pelvis, which is where we want to strengthen. Take the front toes forward and the back toes back. So if you have a block, you could use your block. If you have a hand, you could put your hand on your thigh and slide down, or the block. So take yourself into an exhale. And then as you inhale, with a straight arm, either the block's in the front arm or the front hand, or you have your hand on your thigh. And you lower down, you're either putting your hand in your chair, the back of the chair, the seat, or keep the hand on your leg above your knee if you have a lot of tension and tightness in the body. And if you're able to go lower, go lower. Bring your opposite hand up towards the ground. Rip the floor apart with your feet. Now stack your ice cream cone scoops to the side. Pelvis, rib cage, head. Make sure your head is not forward of your tushy and your tushy is not behind your body. So find that alignment, push your tushy forward and push your head back. Pushing down into the ground, find length. If you rip the floor apart with your feet, you'll activate the support in the legs and in the pelvis. Feel that stretch in your torso, reach long in your body. And then rotating up towards the sky. So some rotational force for your lumbar spine. Lots of hip bone, pelvis, spinal support. Take one more breath. Bringing yourself back up and bringing yourself out, back to mountain. Let's go to the other side. Move whatever props you need to move. If you have a chair, you'll move the chair. Bring in the block. You could even begin with the block on the ground. That's an option as well. I'll do that on this side. Take the leg, keep the leg straight, toes are up and back. Heel is away from you. Shoulders forward, up and back and down. Keep your front hand on your front leg. Exhale. And as you inhale with that straight arm, lengthen down into this triangle. Keep your legs straight. Either staying on your leg or on the chair or the block. Pushing away from the block, getting length in your body. Rip the floor apart. Keep your scoops aligned. Make sure your tushy's not back, so push your tushy forward. Ribs are coming right off of the pelvis. Make sure your head is coming right off of your rib cage, so push your head back. Arms are up, pushing away from the block or the chair, ripping the floor apart. Lots of alignment in this triangle posture. And then long torso. And then adding that rotation up towards the sky. Keep working in the posture. Feel the strength the whole time, the work the whole time, the refinement of the alignment the whole time. Take one more breath. You're going to push into the ground to bring yourself back up and out, safely bringing yourself back into the mountain. The next posture we're going to do is Warrior Two. I'm going to do Warrior Two at the wall so that I can actually show you even more alignment that you can get in your body, and especially for those of you with knee issues, to keep your knees nice and strong. Using the block, we'll use the side of the body. So if you are at a wall, great. And if you're not, maybe next time you could try that. So take your block in your left hand. Bring your legs wide. Bring the toes of the front foot away and the heel of the back. Now you need to be close enough to the balls, up to the wall, so that when you bend your knee, you have the ability to push the knee and hold the block there. You have your knee over your ankle. So find that alignment, nice, long, wide stance in your body. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Exhale, and then inhaling, bringing the arms up. Here, pushing the hands back the whole time to try to get them to be on the wall. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Lower the shoulders from the ears, and now stack your joints. Rip the floor apart, bring the tension and the awareness into the pelvis, and now pelvis is underneath rib cage, head is on top of rib cage. Rip the floor apart, push into the wall with your hands, push into the wall with the block if you have it. Take one more breath. You're going to bring yourself down. If you have the block there, go ahead and take the block. Keep your legs wide. We're going to come to the other side. The toes move away. The heel moves away. Push your feet into the floor and bend the knees if you're going to use the block so you can put the block there. The deeper you bend the knee, the more pressure you put in the pelvis and then the hips, on the femur bone and on the muscles of the legs. Take your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Inhale to bring your arms up into the warrior two on this side. Pressing the arms back, reaching long with the fingers. Lower the shoulders, slide the shoulder blades towards each other. And then rip the floor apart with your feet. Press the block into the wall, and then arrange your 3 scoops. Pelvis, rib cage, head. A little bit more action when you're using the wall, ripping the floor apart and using that leg to push the block to hold the block there. Lowering the shoulders, reaching long. Lifting your heart, stacking your scoops. Take one more breath. You're going to bring yourself out. So come all the way back. Deep breaths. So put your quads down. Depending on how much energy you use, you may have an accelerated heart rate. So find the mountain to rest. And find the mountain. Still keeping that tension, pushing your feet in, top thighs back, tailbone down, hands back, 3 scoops, pelvis, rib cage, head. One more breath. So we're going to do one more standing posture because this will strengthen the ice cream cone and strengthen the part of the body that's going to manage where's your pelvis, where's your rib cage, where is your head. This is chair posture. Take the block in between your legs. It's a deep hip flexion posture, loading up the glutes and the lower body with your body, with the body weight. Toes are the distance of the block. You're going to start by bending your hips like you're sitting back in a chair. Bring your arms forward, squeeze your block, and then bring your arms up straight. Squeeze your block so you can protect your low back, bending as deeply as you would like in your hips, squeezing the block, reaching long with your hands. Direct attention to the important aspects of our body for strong bones, strong muscles, strong joints. Squeeze the block, tailbone down. Use the core to protect your low back. Arms are straight, look forward and up. Mouth is closed, breathing in and out through the nose. Take one more breath. Bring your hands together, bring yourself all the way up. A lot of attention was played today or paid attention to the back. So I'd like to give our back a little break, and I'd like to show you a way you could do that when you're at the wall. When you're at the wall, holding ourselves up, holding the stacked pelvis, rib cage, head is a lot of work for the muscles. So one way you could give yourself a break is turn to the wall. Let you only be about 6 inches, a little bit wider than hip distance, and then let the forehead touch the wall. Let your hands dangle alongside your body. And your nose may touch the wall or barely be near the wall. Let the wall take the weight of holding up the 3 scoops all day long. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. That can be a nice way to take the pressure off of your body, managing all that's above the pelvis. So let's do the last posture, the final posture, Shavasana. For this, you may need a chair, a wall, a blanket, a bolster, something underneath your knees. Get what feels comfortable to you. Bringing yourself down onto your mat safely, coming all the way down, keeping your spine nice and long, so reaching to the side to lengthen your body as you come down. Draw your knees into your chest, spread the legs wide, draw the knees down towards the shoulders, a little side-to-side action here in a happy baby, ending the practice happily, letting the low back settle. And then from here, coming into Shavasana. Legs are out away from you, flopping towards the side, palms are up towards the sky. Lengthen your neck, close your mouth, deep breath. Stay here in this moment, stay connected to your breath. Again, observe your breath coming into your body and all that it does when it comes in. Bring your awareness to your breath. Begin to deepen the breath. Bring your awareness to your feet as you start to move your feet, your ankles. And then bend the knees, put the feet flat on the ground. Bring your awareness to your fingers, start to move your fingers, your wrists, your elbows. Draw the knees one at a time in. Close the eyes, feel this moving in your body, what it does. Bring yourself onto your side, and from there up to a seated position. We're going to close the practice with sound. So bring your hands together, rub them together, bring the hands to the heart, press the heart to the hands to the heart. Sit nice and tall. Find that alignment. Pelvis, rib cage, head. Lengthen the back of the neck, tuck the chin down towards the chest. Let's close with a gentle humming sound. Big exhale. Inhale deeply. Bowing in the gratitude for the opportunity to work on strength, flexibility, range of motion, posture, alignment, to keep ourselves healthy, strong, mobile, and active forever. Namaste. Always checking in with yourself at the end of the practice to make sure it was appropriate and to notice what came up for you today in the practice. We all have issues in our tissues, things that come up for us, whether we notice tightness, tension, lack of ability to do something. Maybe it seems harder today or easier. So noticing all of those things every time you show up. The more we can do consciously, meaning we're in the moment, we're noticing, then we can either retrain, repattern, reintegrate, or actually make that be the new memory, the new way of being, the stronger, more mobile, more limber, better aligned, better postured self. All right. I definitely had a lot that I was noticing today. There's stuff going on in my body. So I'm really noticing for myself. Maybe I'm just demanding more for myself and I'm feeling that, but it's just really nice to be in that place of awareness. All right, so I'd like to check in particularly with Gail. How was that for you if you're still here? And sorry, I didn't see your question about be on the floor or the chair. The best place to be, Gail, if you're still here or anyone who's watching in the future, is where your body feels the best. So let your body be the guide. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. Thumbs up if you like today's practice. That'll help people find me and help me keep doing what I'm doing. Kathy, so nice to have you here. Great. Oh, that's great. She's way. Yes. You're welcome. Stevie, great. Well, ice cream's not such a bad thing if you make it healthy, right? You can make really great, healthy chocolate ice cream recipes. There's avocado recipes, coconut oil recipes. The whole thing is dairy. Cow dairy is so inflammatory. There's proteins in cow dairy that's inflammatory, and that's going to trigger inflammation, and inflammation is a root cause of bone loss. So that's the why not for dairy. Also, it feeds yeast, and if you have yeast overgrowth, that's also going to contribute to osteoporosis and degradation in many aspects of our health. So funny with that. Oh, great. Well, Gail, modify according to yourself. I teach this live every Thursday. You could sign up for reminders and I'll be here. The times I'm not here, I give videos for you to practice. And then my classes are starting live next week for Torrance Memorial Hospital in Southern California. You have to go to my website and sign up for those if you want to join us on Zoom there. DebbieRobinson.com is my website. Go there. Oops, one day I'll learn how to spell my name. There you go. Oh, reverse plank was easier. Yeah, reverse plank, replace, play. Yeah, it's really interesting what we find to be easy and what's hard, and one day may be different from the next. So thank you so much for joining me, ladies and men, if you're out there. And I will see you in something else, my next class or something else. You're welcome. Well, I'm really happy to have you here, Gail. I'd love to know how you found me. I also have a podcast, Stronger Bones Lifestyle. I interview some amazing experts on bone health there.
So go to Stronger Bones Lifestyle Podcast. For any of you that are here that haven't done that yet, hear the sirens. Go to Stronger Bones Lifestyle Podcast. I'd say that that's a real informative area for women because I choose speakers that are really important for ourselves. I'm interviewing someone today as a pharmacist that's really disillusioned with the over-medication. One day I'll learn how to talk. The over-medication of what we do here in the West. And she just got sick of it and said, I'm done. Anyway, all right. Perfect. Really nice to meet you. Go to my website, look around there. There's more resources. And I look forward to seeing you every week to join us live. Bye, everyone.